Yes, President Uhuru has an action plan for Kenya. This is the Big Four action plan of President Uhuru. Food security, affordable housing, manufacturing, and affordable health care. Yes, the Big Four may be the engine to drive Kenya to 2030, Vision 2030. But, in my opinion, that engine requires serious servicing. And where does that serious servicing come from? It must come from the education sector. Education sector. Look, affordable housing. We must produce architects that are going to drive that, affordable housing, low-cost buildings if you want. Manufacturing, without industrialists, without processors coming out of the education system, that will be ill achieved. Affordable health care. Medics have a big role to play in that. Agriculturists, food industry. So, the education sector has a pivotal role in the Big Four. Unfortunately, there are many issues facing the education sector: strikes, CBS, but that's not a talk for my today's lecture. Let's look at some great quotes on education. That was Aristotle. And what does he say? The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. So we may want to think financing education is too much, but the fruits of financing education are very sweet. And then Albert Einstein, education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. The educators have to be facilitated to train the mind to think, not just to keep facts. And finally, Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. I don't want to belabor the importance of education and therefore how it can drive the Big Four agenda of President Uhuru. To fast track, I would say, we must move away from crisis or firefighting management in our education sector. I've already mentioned unrests, collective bargaining agreements that are not honored. But again, that's a talk for another day. Yes, like with firefighting. For me, the 100% transition policy seems to be the first fire that we must put out. Yes, we have introduced it, but we must put out because it is problems government's 100% transition policy to second school is now a policy. But look, the Ministry of Education will ensure that every child who sits for Kenya Certificate of Primary Education is admitted. This is a policy, yes. We've put it in. There they are. But there's a warning here. KTN covered this. There is a headache that we must solve. Look, high schools are sagging under the massive weight of Form 1 students. Look, schools in crisis as the number of Form 1 admission increases. Look, congested dormitories. And indeed, in some schools, one school in Nakuru, a bus shed is converted into a classroom. So trying to fight fires, we must address it. The new curriculum has brought new challenges to the education sector. The 2663. We have stakeholders talking about it, curriculum training, acute measure, new curriculum moves. Let's not bury our head in the sand. The new curriculum has brought those challenges. Now let's look at this table. We are in year 2020 now, and the CBC and 844. At age 9, grade 4, at age 12, standard 6, these people are now in place. There is the 844 in standard 6 now, 2020, the grade 9, grade 4 of CBC at age 9. Look, 2023, at age 12, the CBC will be in grade 7 or literally lower second, which is actually Form 1. And the standard 6 will also be in Form 1. So in 2023, we're going to get 2 Form 1s. Look at the ages, 12 and 15. It appears that looking at the parents, parental headache, parental dilemma, a child who is younger, 2 years younger than his or her brother, catches up with the brother in Form 1. But that is parenting, leave it to parenting. This 2023, we shall have intakes university. Question is the university prepared? Is the infrastructure ready? Are we planning for it? Or shall we come to fight fires? Let's look at it a little more. You know what I'm saying? In 2023, the current grade 4 will leave age mates in the current standard 6 and join older ones. In 2023, we shall have double Form 1 until the 844 is phased out. Are we prepared for that? In 2023, continuing until maybe 2028, 2031, parallel university systems. We shall be churning out different graduates for the same industry. How have we prepared the private sector? For 4 years, 5 years, we'll be churning out graduates. Now, which graduates will the industry be looking for? We need to start looking at that. not to wait until we firefight. The implications, some of them, just tips of the whatever. Parents catering for their kids of those different ages. I am happy to notice some parents have already taken that into account. Our MPs, CDF money, facility planning, are we starting now? We need to do that. The CBC produces talented students. Will these graduates just join the normal universities? Are we planning for talent institutions to absorb these graduates? We need to think of that as early as yesterday, even before introduced the CBC. We shall now probably require 2 categories of university teachers at university level. Those continuing with the 844 and those handling the CBC. Is the university being prepared for that? I remember when the 844, the first 4 entering university, I was teaching economics, Kenyatta University, Department of Economics. The university was not ready, or let me say my department was not ready. And when we received the first 4, we realized we were still running the economics syllabus curriculum of the Form 6 leavers. We had not prepared one for the incoming. So what did we do? We simply stretched the same syllabus of 3 years into 4 years. That became a headache. My next door department, mathematics, had more headache because they continued using the syllabus for Form 6 leavers addressing to Form 4 leavers. It was a big deal. So, are we getting prepared as early as now? Yes, we must. Now, there's this concept of the junior, senior, junior secondary, senior secondary, lower primary, upper primary. Will this be separate? Are they better to be separate institutions that with the separate heads? Or should we just have the junior, the senior in one? Those are things that we should be looking at in terms of efficiency and effectiveness. So yes, the solution for me lies in a very good look into the future, also known as planning. We must plan as early as now. Yes, we must look into the future. And this future is just tomorrow. 2023 is tomorrow. Are we ready for it? Yes. Is academics, planning, is the university ready? Planning. To plan, to do, to check, and to act. Simple cycle. Plan. What is needed? We need to ask now. Do it. Check that it works. Let's check early enough that it works. Let's not wait to put out bushfires. Then act to improve. Simple planning cycle. I'm calling it systematic planning. It involves a process by which the planner identifies the need of the institution. We must start now. We shouldn't wait until it's too long, too late. Yes, the 34th President of the United States from 1953 to 1961, Eisenhower, said, in preparing for battle, I have always found that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. Yes, we may not achieve as planned. What we plan today may not happen exactly as we planned, but planning is indispensable. We have to plan now. For example, can we explore the PPP, public-private partnership, and even be a little more entrepreneurial and add a fourth P, PPPP, private, public, people partnership? Might we want some solutions into that? We need to start now. Can we incentivize for talent institutions? Can we appetize the private sector, investors, to start something like Culinary Arts Academy, for example, African Innovation? These are existing talent institutions that we might borrow from. The Kids Martial Arts Academy, because CBC is going to produce talents and they may be varied. Therefore, we must start thinking now. The Kenyan Investment Authority, can we involve it? Can it start laying down investment opportunities and attracting investors, both FDI, foreign direct investors, but also local investors? Yes, when I was chairman of Kenyan Investment Authority, 2002 to 2010, with my MD, Julius Kimgetich, we set up that idea of appetizing local investment, and therefore we moved decentralized Kenyan Investment Authority, Eldoret, Kisumu, Mombasa. We need to do more of that. Can we recognize role models? There are institutions that have already started doing commendable jobs. Equity Bank, for example, with its wings to fly. Can we see how we can bring more similar? Importantly, can we build that strong link? University, industry, government linkages. If you ask me, I would say that now the university and the government are linked, but linked not more on productive basis, but on unproductive basis, so to speak. We are arguing, we are demanding for money. The government one looks at that. Now that linkage is not productive. We need, like I started, this education sector is key. And therefore we need to start addressing the education sector, which will now be ready to absorb the noble policies that we are coming up with. Yes, we must do it now. Thank you.